Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, welcome to a very special press conference for a very special fight that's going down on November 23rd, live from the Commerce Casino at Fighters Rep 27. You're looking at them, and they don't even know it yet, but we're talking about the main event for Fighters Rep 27 on November 23rd, baby. And we're talking about California, right? Orange County taking on Las Vegas, Nevada.
Do it.
When when Aaron Hot Water Fausett steps back into the Lions Den to defend his light welterweight title against the surging, exciting Edgar Fraga. Young men, how are you guys doing today? Let me start with Edgar. How are you doing today, Edgar?
Good. I'm doing good. What about you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. And Champ, how are you, Champ?
Good, brother. Been good. Having a good day. Actually, just training. I'm still in the gym yet, but excited.
I was telling Edgar before this, he's got his classic fight team. He's all decked out, and you're over there in your gym ready to go. So it's a real war going down November 23rd.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into it. Aaron, you had a fantastic performance the last time out. You were able to get that light welterweight title wrapped around your waist and take it back to Las Vegas. You are our only, I believe you're our only West Coast champ that is not located in California. You came into hostile territory. You got it out the mud, like they say. What have you been up to since then? And, what were your thoughts when you got the call that, you were going to be taking on this young surging warrior in Edgar Fraga?
And I was excited. It's always exciting to get into the Lions Den. The show is always a lot of fun. The energy in the crowd is always a lot of fun. And I've actually, I think this is me. I think me and Edgar have been at least two cards of Fighters Rep together. So it's exciting to get to see someone else who's exploding on the scene. Get to the fight and put on a show for everybody. So I'm excited for it. It was a good opportunity.
For sure. Edgar, I want to ask you, man, you've seen him around. You've seen each other a couple times. Both of you have put on beautiful performances in the Lions Den. But it looks like your time has come, Edgar. What was your thought? What were your thoughts when you got offered a title fight against Hot Water Faucet?
I was excited, honestly, because I know he's a great opponent, and this is my first title fight. So I know I'm gonna train hard and give it my all, just like I always do.
Let me ask you, is there added pressure knowing that this is a title fight and now that it's going to be the main event for Fighters Rep 27? Because I like to put pressure on you guys, because I feel like when I do that, especially with you two, you guys step it up. You guys come through. How does it feel having that added pressure on you? How do you think you're going to handle that?
I mean, I'm excited. It's my first main event ever, so I'm just gonna train even harder. I know my family's gonna be there. My family from Mexico is gonna be watching. My teammates, everyone. So I know I'm gonna train hard because I want to put on a show for not only them, the fans, and for everyone who believes in me.
I love it. I love it. Champ, back to you, man. What a beautiful thing for you to have come into the Lions Den and, taken the title back to Vegas and kind of spread the influence of the Lions Den, but also of yourself and Andrade Muay Thai, right? Beautiful, beautiful performance you put on. What's kind of been the reaction since you brought home that belt, knowing that, you're basically having to come in and out of hostile territory now to defend it, to earn it, and everything else that goes along with being an out-of-state champion?
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. Pretty much every single fight that I have, no matter if it's for you guys, if it's for other people, I'm always the oddest guy. They have a big crowd against me. So that kind of fuels me a little bit. It fires me up. I'm like, oh, you guys are all here to watch someone else fight. I'm like, I'm gonna make a few fans tonight. That's always my goal. Um, and like I said, I love the show. I love how you guys, you put us in a good position, a really good position, and we appreciate it. And the added pressure of being the main, that's exciting for me. It's not my first main event, but it's my biggest main event by far. So, yes, sir.
I love to hear that. And I wanted to say, you said the crowd's against you, but in these past couple of shows, I've been noticing a bit of an uptick in people coming out from Vegas. People supporting you, man, coming out from Vegas. I mean, it's not that far of a drive, really.
And I do have my my people, and my people are real loud for sure. And I've made some friends in the area. I've made some friends just from fighting in the Lions Den. So there's a lot more people than the first time I stepped in there for sure. I got a lot of people on my side now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Edgar, man, I'm gonna take it back to you, man. I've kind of watched you grow and grow in the Lions Den, and we just feel like you've reached a point where it is time for you to get this title shot against Aaron Hotwater Fausett, man. You mentioned a little bit about him, but I mean, have you studied him? Are you prepared for this fight? Like, how are you preparing for this fight? What are you expecting in this fight against Aaron Hotwater Fausett?
I mean, I'm expecting a really good fight, a high-paced fight for 5 rounds. So I'm going to be training hard. I know my team's a really high-level team. They know how to game plan these fights, and I always believe in my team. Ever since I believed in them, things have gone good. Before I joined this team, I had lost my first 2 fights, and ever since I joined them, I haven't lost. So I'm looking to keep that streak going. So I'm gonna keep training hard, and I believe in them. I know they believe in me. So
For sure, for sure. And Aaron, I'll ask you too, man. I mean, Edgar's been a very exciting fighter to watch. He's very explosive. When I think of Edgar, I think explosive, I think hungry, I think a dog, you know what I mean? But when I think of you, I think the same thing. I think, man, this guy's a dog. He just keeps coming and coming and coming. This fight is sort of a This fight for me is like putting, fire and gasoline together, man. What are your thoughts on this fight?
I agree. So I want to touch on it first. I love classic fight team. One of the things for me, it's a prideful thing when I get to fight people from certain gyms. It means a lot for me. I've taken on some really awesome gyms, and it feels good to get to compete against gyms and their systems and that kind of thing. But it's explosive for sure. I've watched them fight. I've seen the high teeps. I've seen this stuff come quick and fast. And that I'm like, I want to be challenged. I want as much competition I can before I make that pro jump. And this is a great opportunity for it.
Right now, you mentioned classic. We all know about classic, but we also all know about Andrade Muay Thai. Aaron, tell me what it means to you to go in there and represent for Andrade.
Everything. Jason's a Muay Thai legend. He's been in the game forever. He's always part of Bullet's Valentina Shevchenko's fight camps and all of that. And he's and to be kind of his, like, I guess you'd say, prodigy at that. It's every time I go in there, it's a lot bigger than me.
Yeah. Now, Edgar, I'll go back to you, man. Classic Fight Team. Classic Fight Teams has been in the FightersRep Lions Den, carving a name for themselves. Before we were around, they'll probably be there if we ever leave. They're all over the world doing big things. What does it mean to you as well to represent for Classic Fight Team? It's an amazing gym.
it means everything because I know my coaches love working with me, and I love working with them. And I always want to represent well. No one wants to represent bad, especially in a sport like this. This sport's my favorite sport by far. Nothing's like this. It's just you in there, regardless of your team. I know my team is great, but at the end of the day, it's just you in there, and I know that my team prepares me best they can, and I believe in them, and I'll train my hardest to represent them well.
Edgar, is there a little bit of territorial, hunger here? Seeing this guy, Hotwater Faucett, come over to California, get that West Coast title, you being the local guy, represented for the city. Is there some of that going on here? Do you want to kind of reclaim that title for Southern California? Are you tired of Aaron parading that title around in Las Vegas? How do you feel about this whole situation? This is me egging you guys on a little bit here.
Yeah, obviously I want to represent over here, Orange County, Santa Ana, where I'm from, and just my culture, Mexico, all that. I wanna win for us, not just
Yeah.
not just myself. It's just like Aaron said, it's bigger than just me. It's my team, my family, everyone who supports me. So
Yeah.
I got to win for them. Whether I'm fighting someone from out of state or locally, I'm gonna give it my all.
Yeah, and you are going to be, I mean, the hometown guy, as much as, Aaron will bring out fans as well, which are his fans are very loud, like he indicated. You will be the hometown guy. You will sort of have home court advantage. How does that make you feel? Is that added pressure? What does that mean to you?
Not added pressure. I feel like every time I get in there, I'm really like locked in on the fight. I'm focused on what I need to do, and I want to get that job done. I obviously care about them, but I feel like that's what fuels me during training and all that. But during the fight, I try to take that out of my mind. I try to focus on the fight itself. I don't want to think about anything else but what I need to do to get that title.
Gotcha. And champ, I want to ask you too, man. I mean, in and out of hostile territory, you're always fighting. You mentioned you're fighting away from home, but you are building. Even though you are building a bit of a fan base here, you're still again coming into hostile territory. This time, defending your crown. I mean, is there a bit of? I almost want to say, is there a bit of the butcher battle? Coming in? Is there a bit of a chip on your shoulder coming into the Lions Den, November 23rd?
Oh, there's always a bit of a chip on my shoulder for sure. I'm always, I'm trying. It's like I'm like Vegas is supposed to be the fight capital, and we don't have any damn fights here. So I'm trying to put, put on a show for Vegas, for my team, for I work with other teams here in Vegas too. So it's bigger, for sure. But yeah, man, every time I walk out, I remember my last walkout. Someone looks at me, you're gonna die. I looked at him and smiled, and then went to the ring. It's like, let's do it then. So
Yeah. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, thank you for joining us. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, join the channel to help us continue to build. It's just $9.99 a month. It's also the only way to catch this fight live as it happens. Aside from getting your tickets, be sure to get your tickets at FightersRep.com and come watch these two warriors, absolute warriors, throw down on November 23rd at Fighters Rep 27. You're not going to want to miss this. These are two of the most exciting young fighters coming up in kickboxing right now. And man, trust me when I tell you, I've watched these kids fight over and over again in the Lions Den. I'm so excited about the both of these young warriors. Man, let me tell you guys, both of you are the kind of fighter where I can't eat, I can't drink, I can't do anything. I watch you guys fight, and I'm locked in. So that's what you guys are going to be witnessing if you come out and get your tickets to Fighters Rep at FightersRep.com, and they went on sale today, so be sure to get them. Also, if you have any questions, either for the champ or the challenger, Edgar Fraga, be sure to drop them in the chat, and I'll definitely read it to them. Now, I did want to read one because we do have one coming in from Joshua Shibata. He says, question for both fighters, and we'll start with the champ. Are you training for deep waters all 5 rounds, or going for the kill shot in the early rounds? Which one is it?
I'm all training to go 5 rounds. Like if you're not training to go 5 rounds and you're fighting for a title, you're goofy. We're both really fucking tough. Sorry for the language, really tough. So
It's an adult show. It's okay. It's an adult show. Kids are welcome though.
if I find that shot, I'm not gonna pass it up. But I'm ready for 5. I know that one hard shot's not gonna put them away. So So I'm definitely always training for the deepest waters, as you know, it's air and hot water, you know. Come on.
For sure, for sure. And same question to you, Edgar. I mean, are you training for deep waters? Are you trying to get this done quick? What's going on over there at Classic Fight Team?
I'm training for deep waters. I already know this is most likely gonna go 5 rounds. Just like Aaron said, obviously as fighters, if you find that shot, if you have that instinct in you, depends on some fighters. Some fighters don't. Some fighters do. If you have that instinct in you to go for the kill, you will. And I know we both have that, so we'll see. But I know it's gonna be a war, so I'm ready for 5 rounds. I'm gonna train for 5 rounds.
Edgar, you say it's going to be a war. What are you seeing? What are you seeing from the champ, from Aaron Fausett, that's making you think that? What do you see in his game that makes you think, man, this is going to be one of those fights?
I've seen, like he said, we've been on the same cards before. I've seen him fight on different cards before. So I see how he fights. He's a good pressure fighter, but he also has really good angles. I've been seeing him fight for a while now, so I know he has good pressure once he starts landing, but depending on how the fight goes, obviously you have to angle if you take shots. So I know he has good pressure, so I'm prepared for that too.
It sounds like he's done his homework on you, Hot Water Champ. It sounds like he's done his homework. I want to ask you the same thing, man. I mean, you guys have walked back and forth by each other in that locker room, maybe warming up in that Lion's Den. Did you expect that this was going to happen? And what do you think of this young man? What do you see in this fight?
Um, I did. I had a feeling this fight would happen eventually. Similar class, you know, and we are both winning fights in the line. So I had a good feeling. One of the things, like we talked about earlier, incredibly explosive. You know, it's from 0 to 100 real quick. You know, where and they're and he has a very powerful explosion. You know, so when it hits you, it's hitting you hard. Classic is really known for having really good footwork. They have good head movement. They box well. You know, so I'm ready for all that. You know, and that's what I'm preparing for. You know, someone who I don't think there's going to be anything not good at. You know, like I think he's going to be able to kick. He's going to be able to defend. If we lock up in the clinch, we're going to be, in a similar situation. So I'm ready for a complete fight.
Right, right, right. Well, look, guys, we're about 8 weeks out. I want to say 7.5, 8 weeks out. I mean, did training camp? I'll start with you, champ. Did training camp start for this already? Are you about to head into it? Where are you at right now?
Training camp never stops for me. um, it's not even like I pretty much fight every month, every other month, you know. So and my job is to train people. I teach, you know. So I don't really ever stop. I definitely pick up the intensity in terms of harder rounds, more, you know, that kind of thing. But I would say that I'm always in camp. You
And
know.
Edgar, I'll ask you the same thing, man. I mean, has training camp started for this? Are you like Aaron, where it doesn't stop? I got a feeling I don't know the answer, but you go ahead and tell me.
Yeah, I try to stay in the gym as often as I can. I fought like 2 weeks ago. I couldn't wait. I got back in the gym like 5 days after, especially thinking about that title fight in my head. I know how I had called for it a while ago, so I knew that November show was coming up. I always have that in the back of my head, especially a title fight, something new for me. But it being new excites me, makes me want to train harder.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, one thing I've noticed, and this is back to you, champ. One thing I've noticed about you, and the same goes for Edgar, and this also gets me excited about this fight, is the durability, man. It's the durability. I don't think I've seen you hurt. Not once in the lines. Then it could be a good poker face. And I haven't really seen Edgar hurt other than one time, and maybe he was slightly rocked, but he didn't retreat at all. I mean, he doubled down and he came even harder and ended up finishing the fight, showing me that he's a very dangerous guy if he's ever in that position. What are your thoughts on the strengths and weaknesses here, if that's something you can share at all?
Um, so one of the things that I think is going to be a strength for me is I've been in a lot of 5-round fights. You know, this is probably overall probably going to be like my 8th or ninth 5-round.
Wow.
I've been, you know, so I take a lot of pride in that I've been here. You know, so it's I know what I'm dealing with, a lot of explosiveness, a lot of toughness. You know, but I think that that's going to be a big thing in my favor. And like you said, you know, like it's hard to hurt me. I had my hip hurt when I fought Hamza, my hip, but you know, other than that, you know, it's I've never really taken a lot of shots to the head, to the body that are too bad, but you know, I'm always training for that next shot, that next.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I did, you know, I guess what I meant, what I had never seen you hurt like that. It wasn't related to an injury, but yeah, I mean, I do remember that Hamza fight, and you know, the referee did end up stopping that fight. But you know, you look like you wanted to keep going. There's definitely a lot of toughness between the two of you, Edgar. Man, I'll tell you the same thing. You know, I actually want to ask you about that. I mean, you got hurt in there. At least it looked to me like you got hurt in there against Stowe, but you bit down on your gum shield. You doubled down, and you got him out of there, you know, right away. You know, is that a situation you can see kind of happen in a fight like this with two very durable guys?
Yeah, I mean, if he hurts me, I know he's been there, like he said, he's been there, so he has really good control. He knows to when to go, when not to. A lot of fighters who've been there know like the timing and not to overdo it. Cause I mean that fight I had with Alec was only my fourth fight, so it was my first fight without gear. I was excited. I wanted to put him down. I remember I had already put him down once. I had just gone for the finish, and the only thing that did, I would say, is woke me up. As a fighter, Aaron knows the only thing you see is probably black or white for a second. Then you're back there. You're right there.
Yeah.
Nothing changes, and I'm not gonna let something like that deter me from keep going. So after that, I just bit down, like you said, hit him again, and just kept going. I didn't want to stop.
That was one of the most exciting fights. And you know what I purposely do in the Lions Den is, you know, I typically try to make the first fight of the night a very exciting one, or one that I think will be. And that one definitely was. But obviously, we want to make the main event the cherry on top. And so I'm very excited about this fight being the main event, you know, featuring not only two fantastic young fighters like yourselves, but also having this little bit of added spice, right? Where we got Aaron coming in from Vegas, you defending home territory. I think that makes this a very fun fight. I want to ask you again, champ, you know, you've become the champion at FightersRep, man. It sounds like you don't have too much longer in the amateur ranks. You know, what else do you hope to accomplish? I mean, besides defending your title, right? This is going to be a big opportunity for you to defend this title. How much longer do you have left? What else do you hope to accomplish before you move on to the pro ranks?
Honestly, my goal is to get to somewhere between 40 to 50 fights and turn pro. Hopefully within 2 years, if you know everything goes right, health and wealth and everything. You know, my goal is to, as an amateur, you know, I'd like to compete a little bit more internationally. You know, take you know, just not for any other reason other than I want to see different types of fighters. You know, before I take that jump where I'm seeing people from all over the world. So that's the big thing, you know, defend this title, keep building my name and my brand, and people knowing Hot Water as, you know, a fighter and a brand, you know. So winning and defending my title it's big for me, you know. It's a lot of pressure on me that I put myself through to win this title to begin with, because I like the stage, I like what you guys provide, and you know, it's that same pressure is there to defend it. Like it's gonna have to kill me mentality. You know?
Yeah. And Edgar, you know, I'm going to ask you a similar question, but you know, Aaron's more seasoned. He has more experience. You know, he's been at this a while longer. you just haven't lost in the Lions Den, man. You've really, put on some explosive performances. We felt like it was time to push you, to test you, right? Because the harder we're pushing you, you just keep coming through. Again, haven't lost in the Lions Den. I feel like you're kind of at a different place in your amateur career. You're still probably somewhere closer to the middle of it, whereas Aaron is approaching the end of it. What does it mean to you, to get this sort of responsibility to step up to the plate against a more seasoned guy like Aaron and to really put yourself to the test here? I mean, I admire it, but how does it make you feel?
It makes me excited because I know I have a really good team. We have some really seasoned fighters. One of my main coaches, Diego Paez, fought a lot of amateur. He's went 10-0, undefeated. He has a pro fights, world titles, and I have a whole bunch of other training partners that are really seasoned too. That makes me really excited because I know I have these good looks that I can get to somewhat get something similar to Aaron. I know it's gonna be different once it's in there. It's always different. No fight is the same, but I'm excited because I know he has that experience, and I know that experience makes those fights better. Sometimes those early fights are the more of the wars. I mean, maybe this will be a really hard technical fight, but I know both of us have it in us to finish the fight. So I'm gonna train hard to do so if I have to.
Yeah, yeah. Champ, let me ask you, man. We've gotten to that point in this press conference. What can we expect in this fight? Do you have any sort of prediction for this fight?
Well, the one thing to do is it's gonna be it's gonna be explosive. We both do things quickly. There's gonna be a lot of pressure, but like he was talking about, one of the things that I didn't enjoy about the earlier fights in my career is that it is just kind of chaos. Where neither person is thinking, neither person really all like they're not crazy dangerous because they don't really know how to set things up. Now you get to the point where you're seeing things, you're not going to take certain risks, so it's going to be a fun chess match, and a very violent chess match, but it's going to be a fun one.
Edgar, I'll ask you the same, man. You're challenging for this title main event. Commerce Casino, Lions Den, young warrior stepping up. Edgar, uh, what's your prediction for this fight, man? What can we expect from you, Edgar, in this one?
You can expect the show. I always try to put on the show once I'm in there. Like if I see the finish, I'll go for it. That calculated pressure is what I always like. Just expect the show. If it goes 5 rounds, it's gonna be a 5 round war. If it goes less, there'll be a war up until then. But expect the show.
I love it. I love it. And, I'm going to ask you guys one question, which I love to ask, man. We've got a lot of fans. You've got a lot of friends and fans out there. What do you say to the person who is not sure if they want to buy a ticket to the event? They're kind of sitting on the fence. They're not sure if, they want to go to the Commerce Casino and eat those delicious nachos and watch these amazing fights and get those amazing drinks. Aaron, what do you tell? Let's start with you, Champ. What do you tell someone who's on the fence? They're not sure if they should buy this or not. Why should they buy a ticket to watch you fight?
They're talking to me. I'm like, you don't want to watch me fight? That's crazy. And then we go on, and I'm like, the production is there. Like, there's a media team. They're posting. They'll put a reel out 20 seconds after a knockout happens. There's a 50% knockout in the Lions Den. Are you not entertained by that? You don't like to see people like to see people battle? Like,
Yeah.
That's one of my sales. And then plus, hot water is the main event. You got a ticket.
For sure, for sure. And Edgar, I'll ask you the same, man. All these people in Santa Ana, all these people everywhere in Orange County, all these people in LA County. I mean, why should they buy a ticket, man? I mean, maybe they just want to sit at home and sit on their ass. Why should they come and buy a ticket, watch you fight?
Come watch me just put on the show and represent for all the people out here. Just like Aaron said, this show is the best production. It makes me feel like I'm a pro already, even though I'm amateur. So it makes me train even harder. Just like Aaron said, my favorite thing about FightersRep, they'll put up the fights the week after, and that's saying like a lot. other promotions take like months or longer to put out the fights. They'll put out the fights a week after the real, like minutes after your fight, and everyone will know what happened, whether they're there or not. But be there. The energy is crazy. I remember my first fight there. It's my favorite fight to date because that was a crazy energy, and I that's what I like to put on a show for the people.
That fight was insane, man. I mean, both of you have had some. I'll say, as the promoter, both of you have had some incredible, incredible fights in the Lions Den, and I'm really glad that you guys get that feeling. I think both of you have had moments in the Lions Den that are just unforgettable, you know, for the fans and for yourselves as fighters. And I cannot wait for this fight, ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation. Get your tickets. The main event, Aaron Hotwater Fausett, Edgar Fraga, Fighters Rep 27 on November 23rd. You can get your tickets and live stream at FightersRep.com. I'm going to let you guys go, but before I do that, Champ, anyone you want to shout out, anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
It's always, a huge shout out to my team, Muay Thai, specifically the main man, Strada, and one of my loudest fans, Clarissa. She's always there screaming with her banner. And my girlfriend for putting up my antics during camps. So all that is pretty much all I got.
For sure, and I'll ask the same of you, Edgar. Anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, just like Aaron, you always got to shout out your team. Shout out my team, Classic Fight Team, Tyler Wombles, main coach, Diego Paez, my other coach, all my teammates who help me prepare for these fights and support me, my family, whether they're here or in Mexico, Los Amo, all my family from Mexico. But I do this for all of them. I like supporting and I like representing my people.
I love it. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Edgar Fraga.
Oh, and my coach,
Aaron.
Macon. My first coach. I love that coach, Macon Uller. He's a good kickboxer, too. That's why I'm excited. He showed me all this kickboxing.
For sure, for sure. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron Fausett, Edgar Fraga, main event, Fighters Rep 27. Don't forget, tickets went on sale today. Get yours because they're $5 more at the door, so get them online and be sure to put in their names to get them credit, whoever you support, whether it's Aaron, whether it's Edgar, or whether it's the other amazing fighters we have on this card, guys. Just to let you guys know before I let you go, Joshua Caldwell is fighting Tariq Wright. We've got Andrew Gutierrez taking on Stuart Smith, NorCal versus SoCal. It's going to be an amazing event, and can't wait to see all of you there. Guys, thank you for your time. Have a great night, and I can't wait to see you guys November 23rd.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.